Hi everyone, welcome to Adopting Indigo for Praxis. I think this is week 4, very exciting. Just a quick reminder before we get started with what we have to share with you today. This week is a fish emulsion week. So just grab your spray bottle at some point in the early morning or a cloudy day. Make sure you spray 5 sprays on each plant this week. So I'm really excited today to introduce you all to Kimmy Lessman. And Kimmy works for the Cleveland Seed Bank, and the Cleveland Seed Bank was Praxis' first partner on our Indigo project in 2018. When I said, please help, I want to grow indigo and I don't know how. And so Kimmy and I have been working together for a few years, and I wanted to bring Kimmy on this week to tell you guys more about the seed portion, sort of what happened for the 8 weeks before you guys got your plants. And then maybe, Kimmy, you could talk a little bit about the seed bank and what your mission is and what you guys are doing, amazing work in Cleveland that everybody should know about too.
Yeah, that sounds good. First of all, it's super exciting that all of you watching this video are growing indigo right now. I think that is the most fascinating part about this project over the past 3 years, is that we've done it together in this pot, and now to think that all of the indigo is across the community is really exciting and just makes the whole entire project more fascinating and beautiful. But yeah, I'm Kimmy, and I'm the program coordinator for the Cleveland Seed Bank. I've been with the Seed Bank for 3 years, and the Seed Bank is a network of seed savers, so a group of people who are collaborating together to preserve as much biodiversity as possible right here in Cleveland. And that is anything from fruit and nut trees to annual vegetables and native plants as well. So we do a lot of work in the city, saving seeds and educating folks about how to get involved in the seed movement. Jessica, as she just mentioned, did reach out to us to help her with the indigo plans 3 years ago in 2018. And we immediately set out and started finding how we could get seeds.
Yeah, where are we getting seeds
Yeah,
from?
where are we going to get these indigo seeds? And I do have a little container here of our first seed crop, actually. This is from 2018. Oh yeah, let's do a little zoom.
So let's just say really quickly that these seeds come from an amazing indigo artist and indigo grower named Roland Ricketts, who lives in Indiana. And he is growing, and we are growing, from the Japanese tradition of indigo. So most of the indigo that was grown in the United States is the African species of indigo. And the United States has just put a gigantic stain on the unbelievably magnificent history and cultures of indigo growing all over the world by using enslaved Africans to come and bring that indigo knowledge and culture to the United States. So we are actually not growing the African species of indigo because our climate here is more closely related to the climate in Japan. So is Indiana. And we've really learned a lot from Roland, and he's kind of helped us along the way. And we did purchase, or maybe he gifted, the original seeds.
He did, which is kind of really exciting. So Roland in 2018 gave us a huge amount of seed that year. And he told us the fascinating thing as a seed saver about that seed is that it had a 30% germination rate, which means for every 100 seeds in that sack of seeds, 30 were going to germinate and grow successfully, which was a little worrisome for us, but we took the risk, and I think we had a 100% germination that year. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Yes. I'll share some pictures in the video of what that first year looked like.
Yeah. And yeah, so he gifted this seed from us, or to us, I should say. And then that summer we grew our first seed crop. So we grew a 50-foot bed by 3 feet of seeds, and we, at the exact same time that Jessica plants the indigo at the Corsica lot, the seed bank plants the indigo. And instead of harvesting all summer, we actually just let the plants go to seed from the moment they go into the ground to the moment we harvest. And it's a really beautiful process. Like each stem that you can see in your own growing space will shoot out a seed head, and those seeds will start off as white flowers, and then they will slowly start turning a blush pink. And then once those pink seeds start turning brown at the base, that's when we know that the seeds are ripe and that they're starting to cure and they have enough genetic viability, which ensures that our seed crop for the following year is going to be as strong as it can be. And typically when we harvest, it's this really huge process. We set out a massive tarp right along the seed crop, and we will take loppers or shears or scissors, whatever we have on site. We will hack down the whole entire seed crop, lay it down on the tarp, and then I actually move it to a hoop house to continue curing for the rest of the fall until the first frosts hit. And all of this is taking place in October, actually. And when the plants go into the hoop house, you know, the seed heads are still attached to that plant. And that is so that all of the plant's sugars and any other food sources they have in the stems and in the leaves can continue curing and essentially injecting themselves into the seed so that the seed is as viable as possible. And then I store that seed. The seeds spend the winter in my deep freezer at home to make sure that they are dormant and that they are as strong as possible so they have that germination success. And then in the spring, typically like around mid-March to mid-April, each year is a little different, but I will pull those seeds out of the deep freezer and I essentially thaw them. I put them into my refrigerator and then I slowly work them into a room temperature status so that we can soak them overnight for 12 hours, and that's when we sow them together. The first year we sowed these beautiful seeds in like mini 6-celled and 4-celled containers. And then the next year, which was 2019, we upgraded into some pretty serious flats, which was pretty...
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. So, yeah,
yeah,
these are 2 by 1 foot flats that we grow in a hoop house. Last year we had 90 flats growing. This year we downsized just a little bit, and we had 60 flats growing in the hoop house.
And so that's what everybody had, sort of a portion of that flat.
Yeah, everybody essentially had a little chunk of that pie. And so on April 11th, I sowed the seed that you all are growing right now. It was soaked the night before, and then we kind of did this little scatter maneuver that Jessica invented in 2018. And we spread it gently on these flats of soil, and then we mist them. We lightly mist these seeds just until they start germinating, which is usually pretty quickly. I think these seeds are some of the fastest growing seeds I've ever planted. And so we will mist them for about 7 days, and then once they start showing their cotyledons, which is the first 2 leaves that pop up, then we can do a little bit of a heavier watering. And then we kind of just nurse these babies up until the point where mid-May, Mother's Day is usually around when you'll meet the other part of the crew pretty soon, I'm sure. But Lou and Dave will come over with these massive trucks, and they take all of these flats from the hoop house on the west side, they bring them over to the Collinwood neighborhood, and then we plant them together. Or in this instance, we divided them and then you all took them home, which is pretty exciting.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun reliving all of the things that we've learned and done together along the way. So I have a question. Like what the seed bank, one of the things that the seed bank is doing, right, is working on regionally adapting seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just talk a little bit about what that means, and can we do that with Indigo?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And that is one of the driving forces behind the seed bank, is to regionally adapt as many different crops as we can, which creates a really secure seed shed in our area and also a secure food shed, essentially. And so when you take something from a different growing climate, it has the opportunity to grow well in a different climate, but after years and years of growing and saving and repeating this cycle, you're essentially changing the genetic codes of these seeds, more or less. These seeds, every single year that we save these, they are more accustomed to our region. They know our climate, they know our pollution, they know our precipitation, they know our soil, and it's almost like this really fascinating way to think of these seeds getting stronger and stronger and, you know, becoming more resilient and regionally adapted to our climate. So yeah, it's really fascinating. I remember one time somebody asked me, how long does it take to regionally adapt a seed? And I don't have that answer, but I think the goal is to always just continue saving in your region, to continually strive to make these as close to your climate as you possibly can.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is so good.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, Kimmy, and thank you everyone for listening. Next week we are going to have our next partners on, Lou and Dave, who have a landscaping company. We'll talk about the absolutely serendipitous way that we've all met and are growing indigo in Hollywood. But these guys are amazing. They're experts, and so if anybody has any questions, usually when you are emailing me questions, I'm turning right around and emailing them. So if there are any questions this week, not just about indigo, but about your gardens in general, I will collect those questions and I am going to have Lou and Dave answer them on our video next week. So I'll remind you all about that. Thank you so much again. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, Cleveland Seed Bank. And we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Bye.